Sonia here. Hey guys, hi, Sonia here. So in this video, I've tried to put together content about where to find information, especially for adoption from India. And I have been focusing more on the NRIs so far. So NRIs living in US who want to adopt from India, where to look for information both on the Indian side, which is CARA, as well as on the US side, which is AFA and USCIS. So I hope you like it. Do give me your feedback. That will be helpful for the future content creation. And please connect. On the last page, I've also left the details about the Facebook page I've created for non-US citizens, and also there's another very lovely Facebook page about adoption from India. So do connect and let's get started. Okay. So on the Indian side, it's CARA, the Central Adoption Resource Authority. So if you want to pursue any kind of adoption in India, you have to go through CARA, domestic or international. And you cannot just go to an orphanage and start the process. You have to register with CARA. And to register with CARA, you have to work with a foreign adoption agency, given that you're living in US. And we will go over those. I'll show you where to look for information. So the very first thing I did when I started the adoption process was to look on CARA to see if I can find more information. So I did find information under parents, NRI, OCI, living abroad, which is our case. So unfortunately, this eligibility criteria page is under maintenance for as long as I know it. I think it's almost nine months now. But you can find a little bit more information about guidelines for adoption. And I think your AFA should also be able to provide you a little bit more about your eligibility criteria. Mostly it's to do with your financial background, your mental health, your age. So your combined age has to be 90 to be eligible to adopt within a certain range age of the kid. Things like this. But do ask your AFA for more detailed information on this. One good thing which I mean, the first thing I found on CARA's website was that non-resident Indian prospective adoptive parent will be treated at par with Indians living in India in terms of priority. So that means your wait time or your match, you get the same kind of priority as if you were living in India, which is definitely a positive thing. And also here it says the process is very simple. If you're NRI, OCI, living in a country which is a part of Hague Convention, which India and US both are, and you are wishing to adopt a child, you should just approach an authorized foreign adoption agency, which I'm going to refer to as AFA. And AFA will do a home study and register you with CARA, and you can get started. So I read this and I was very happy and I got excited. And the first thing I did was to contact AFAs. And I'm going to show you where to look for that information. Another point I want you to keep in mind, and we'll come back to this, is this Article 517 of Hague Adoption Convention. And this is where things get a little tricky between India and US. All right. So where do you find information about CARA? I didn't find them that easy, but I'm going to show you how I finally found them. So CARA, a good thing is that they have published all the adoption agencies on their website. And I just Googled CARA AFA US for this one. And this is the web page. So what they have done is they have published all the adoption agencies throughout the world. We are just going to look at the ones in US. So there are around 17 adoption agencies in the US who have an international India adoption program. Good thing is that all the information is right here. You can look for an adoption agency in your area by city or by state. And the phone number is there. Also, the contact details are mostly for the social workers who are responsible for International India program. So you can send them an email, inquire about your case. So a nice thing is that every information you need to know about who to contact in US is right here on this page. Another good thing CARA did was that they have published the information about all their team members. So I just Googled CARA Indian team, and you can find this information here. So all their team members and who's responsible for what program is also published here. Their email address and phone number is right here. So in case you feel like discussing your own case with them, do call them. Keep in mind, like any Indian authority, it's going to be your responsibility to ask the right questions and to dig deeper and really, really evaluate your case. Because when I started talking to CARA, they told me, yes, just contact AFA, get your home study, register with us, and we will take your application, which is definitely not true. And I'll come to this Hague Convention. So once I started talking to all the AFAs, they said, oh no, we can't take your case because you're not a US citizen. And why that is important is for both US and India, because let's say you get the process started and you're able to register with CARA. At the point when you're matched with the child, CARA, before they release the custody of the child, they need from the receiving country, as per Article 517 of Hague Adoption Convention, they need a no objection certificate, which US government will not be able to give you if you haven't followed the Hague Convention as per US government, which means you have to be a US citizen. I'm going to show you where. So when you talk to CARA, do ask them about this Article 517 and how this plays an important role in your specific case in terms of migrating the child or getting the custody of the child eventually. Okay, so when I talked to AFAs, they also pointed out another thing, and we'll come back to that, which is to do with the migration as well. So on US side, you can actually, the information laid out by USCIS is really, really very nicely done. They, in fact, actually yesterday they updated the page. So when I was recording the video, I was also surprised because the information is now organized in a different way and they have added a lot more information. So even I'm excited to go through that and read more about it. So here on USCIS website, so what I actually looked for was sorry, I just want to show you the keywords I searched with. I need to go a few pages back. So I just said USCIS adoption process, and there you go. So immigration through adoption, this page has all the information, what you need to know. Hague process is what we can do because both India and US are part of Hague Treaty. And eligibility to adopt is the first thing you should look at. So if you want to start, you need to have a home study and then file for Form I-800 with USCIS. And to be eligible to file this form, you have to be a US citizen. So this I-800 form eventually will help you to get to migrate the child to US and also get the visa and passport for the child and to get a US citizenship. So if you're not a US citizen, you cannot actually start the process under Hague Convention. That's the main thing. All right. Another thing which I was happy to see that they have now explained it really nicely and they have put it really, really well is this new PDF document. Let's see. So right here, I'm a US citizen, and this actually explains, as per them, all the ways where a child born abroad can become a lawful permanent resident or US citizen based on the adoption by US citizen or LPR. So actually now they're opening, I mean, it seems exciting. I'm not very sure because until yesterday this information wasn't there. So I need to dig into this too. But as per them, they have published really, really well in this PDF the 3 different ways of adoption. Hague adoption, orphan adoption, or immigration other adopted children. And I'm going to talk about this as well because this is, I think, the most relevant to our cases, NRI, and might be there is an option for you guys to look into this one a little bit more. All right, so please, when you talk to AFA or CARA, do ask them not only about your home study or getting the process started, but also inquire about the later part, which is the immigration of the child. Because role of adoption agency as per CARA as well as US is that they need to not only do your home study or start the adoption process, but also do the post-adoption study. So once the child is migrated and is integrated into your family, they have to kind of evaluate the situation and send the reports back to CARA. But if you won't be able to migrate the child, they cannot do the post-adoption study, and that's why AFA mostly would tell you that they can't work with you. So I think because USCIS has been receiving a lot of inquiries, about non-US citizens living in the US, of how they can do adoption and what kind of immigration consideration they are. They publish this very nicely on this page and also in that PDF document which I just mentioned. Do read it. It's really, really informational. Okay, so here they clearly say that foreign-born adoption child adopted by a non-US citizen cannot immigrate to US through the Hague Convention. But there is a way which you can do, is the immediate relative petition process, which basically is this form I-30. There are two conditions to it which are important for you to know, that the child should be in the legal custody of the parent for at least 2 years. Before you can file for I-130, you have to have the child, or you have to live with the child for 2 years. It doesn't have to be in one stretch. You can basically, that would for me mean traveling back and forth between India and US, and only one of the parent could go at one point. But the catch is that you might be risking your LPR status. So do read it, talk to an immigration lawyer. I did, because I felt this would have been a good opportunity for me. But the problem is the wait time is very long. So for me personally, the situation looks like, if I start the process with the AFA and I apply to CARA, I can get the custody of the child, let's say in a year or two from now. I will have to go to India to stay with the child for 2 years and then apply for form I-130. I need to do this petition. But after that, the wait time is 4 years. So I just didn't want to have that kind of uncertainty in my life as well as the kids' life. And I didn't pursue the process yet. But if it works for any of you, this could be one of the good options to try. All right, moving forward. Okay, another thing which you should also just keep in mind, that when you adopt a child, a foreign-born child, will not generally be entitled to a US derivative non-immigrant visa status, which means whatever visa you have, your child won't be able to get a dependent visa. So the information is very clearly written here, I think, and you also need to check with your state adoption laws. So before you even start the process, I would say talk to USCIS, send them an email, and you can contact them on this email. They're pretty responsive. I didn't get the answers I was looking for, but at least they responded back. You should also talk to the local authorities, that's your state adoption authorities, and then you should talk to CARA and an immigration lawyer and AFA to be very, very sure of what this process for you looks like. I think because they have been getting a lot of inquiries, they even added this extra page where they are talking about international adoption by non-US citizens living in US. The page is not very clear to me. It doesn't give me the information or clearly tells me the rules or regulations to follow. So you can, it says that non-US citizen can choose here an adoption agency, which CARA would ask you to comply with the requirement of the state. But then US intercountry adoption regulations do not directly govern the work of this authority, the adoption service providers. So in this case, it becomes a little bit tricky because US is not taking much responsibility, and I don't think US will be giving that Article 517 under Hague Convention to CARA to get the custody of the child. So I'm not even sure about the whole process, but please read it. Do contact them. I'm still trying to find answers, so I just wanted to put this information together for you guys as well to see where to look for information and whom to contact. It doesn't have all the answers, of course. And if you want me to connect you with immigration lawyers, I've talked to few, I'm connected with few, let me know. I'll be more than happy to connect you with few of them. But when you discuss your case with CARA, please go beyond your eligibility criteria and do ask them about the legal process of the immigration of the child to US in your situation when you're not a US citizen. So I wish you all the best, and If you have any questions, please do ask. Join the Facebook group. I created a group only for NRIs living in US who are looking to adopt from India. So hopefully we together can find a solution for all of us. So I was also, another thing I was directed to was domestic adoption, which is also on the USCIS website right here. So it seems it's possible if you're LPR, then you can adopt domestically, which means that you can adopt a US born child. Or you can also adopt from foster care. I haven't looked into it in detail because this came to, this was told to me literally last month. So I'm still evaluating my options as a prospective adoptive parent in this. But if anyone who's listening to this has done the process, please do connect. I'll really appreciate any guidance I can also get from you guys. For now, that's it. Thank you, and until next time. Bye. Take care.